Hey everybody, welcome back to my kitchen for another make lunch with me video. I'm using a different device today because Steve has my phone, so I'm using my old cracked Android that I can't really hardly see the screen for texting, and I'll just plug it into the computer and make the video that way instead of trying to edit it on my phone. But this is Monday, I believe it's February 6th, if I'm correct, and today we are going to do homemade noodles over homemade mashed potatoes. So, let me scoop these out. One for me, one for Steve. Gotta make sure we get enough. This is actually quite filling. But yeah, gotta make sure we get enough. Because I'm hungry. It's been a long time since supper last night. And like I said before, at least I think I've said before, we mainly eat just 2 meals a day. We eat a brunch type meal, and then we also eat supper, but we do snack in between times. Alright, set this aside. And the trick that I have, I've got these 2 microwave things here that I've got potatoes in. I know that they're going to be dry, so I'm going to add a little bit of water to them. You can also add milk. I've also added sour cream to them. I've also added butter to them to make them a little more mashed potato consistency that you would like to use, that you would prefer to eat. Whatever. You know what I'm talking about. It actually doesn't take a whole lot. I've got a 1/4 cup here, and that should be enough for both of them. So about 1/8 of a cup each. I usually don't measure. I just stick it under the faucet and just, put water in there. And a good thing though, if I have too much water, I can always add some more mashed potatoes. If I don't have enough water, I can always add butter or something else to it. I'm going to stick these in the microwave like this. Come on, get in there. 2 minutes, and then I guess we talk, because yeah, I don't know what else to tell you guys while that heats up. Oh, bread and butter, never mind. Steve said you would like to have some bread and butter. Let's get some bread. I like bread and butter, 2 slices each. I haven't been buying sandwich or grocery store bread here lately. I've been trying to make homemade bread, but a friend of ours brought this to us, so I was like, sure, I'll take it. I'm not going to turn down bread for free food. I like food. Food's good. If they're willing to share, I'm willing to eat. So I have this container right here that I'm going to put the bread and butter in. You grab a knife. Yeah, just grab it. Actually, I will just use this spoon. Lick it off real good. No need to dirty additional dishes if I don't need to. Just butter these using the back of the spoon. Put butter. How many of you guys do that? Let me know down in the comments if you will use a spoon, like especially peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Yeah, just or use the back of the spoon to put the butter on, or the peanut butter. You scoop it with the front and spread it with the back. Got that done. It's not going to matter with the butter on there and I stir the potatoes because it'll just make them taste better. Got my 2 slices of bread in my container. Well, there's 4 slices actually. I stacked the butter sides together so that it doesn't get on the lid. Stick the lid on that. We'll set it over here out of the way. I need to get more tub butter. I grew up on tub butter. My mom usually had, Imperial was one that she did a lot, Blue Bonnet or Country Crock, but this is actually, I think I said before too, this is actually the cheapest butter, whether it's stick or tub, and I prefer tub butter for bread, and just about anything, probably because that's what I grew up on. So yeah, These, I'll have to go back in, but stirring these up a little bit. They're a little more pliable than they were, just that little bit of water that I added. These potatoes are good. I've got another 2 minutes. Go wash my fingers off. Say those potatoes, I did not boil them on the stovetop. I actually cooked them in the crock pot just by themselves with water. I didn't add anything else, and they actually taste like they were cooked with a roast, you know, like roast and taters. So good. And then when I make mashed potatoes, I make what's called sour cream mashed potatoes. I normally make about 5 pounds of potatoes at a time. And I use a stick of butter and about like a 16-ounce tub of sour cream. 16 ounce, yeah, the big ones. That's about what I put in there. And then of course salt and pepper, and that's all I add, because additional seasonings and toppings and stuff could be added later. But these turned out really good. Normally I do them on the hot plate in a pan with water, but I decided to do this one batch in the crock pot, and like I said, it tastes really good. It honestly tastes like it was cooked with roast, but it was not cooked with roast. But yeah, today the weather is amazing. We are supposed to be up into the 60s for a change. There's a wind, though, a real strong wind, which is bringing in cold air from, I don't know, probably down south in Texas. That's where that cold air is coming from. But looking at the forecast for the next 10 days, we're supposed to be in the like upper 40s to the lower 60s and above freezing at night. So that is amazing. I think spring is on its way. At least I hope so, because I am tired of this cold weather. I am tired of this cold weather. I don't want any more. Yeah, I can see that steam, and those are hot. Good enough. All right, I'm gonna scrape these out into these bowls. Put the lids on them, and I'm just going to scoop my noodles into here to warm them up to put on here. Stick the lid on that. I'm just going to use the same spoon. And the way I do our noodles over mashed, if you're not familiar with doing that, is it's basically homemade chicken noodle soup. I make my own noodles. Yummy, yummy. And I don't add as much broth as I would with soup. It's just enough to where it makes it a consistency where that you could put it over noodles. And put it over mashed potatoes, and there's a little bit of broth, but it's not super brothy like a bowl of soup. And unfortunately, what I'm probably going to have to do is, whichever bowl I choose, I'm going to have to pick the chicken out of it and give it to Steve. I might eat a few little pieces, but I am not a big chicken person. I mean, that's not true. I do like chicken, but I prefer like chicken tenders, the processed stuff, you know, the stuff that's bad for me. But I really don't like the bone-in chicken very well. Put that in for 2 minutes. I'm gonna put my potatoes and gravy away, or not gravy, potatoes and noodles away. And I guess while that's heating up, I will show you what we're having for dessert. We have this one little we call these loaves. It's actually, I make these in my Twinkie pan, but we have one loaf, little mini loaf of banana bread left that we have to share. And then I also grabbed this. We put these in our kids' meals at our restaurant. This was left by a customer, and our policy is if a customer, it's gone out to the customer, we cannot reserve it to another customer. But the bag is sealed. Everything seems to be okay, so I'm going to take this as well, and Steve and I will share that as well for dessert. So we've got banana bread and Scooby snacks for dessert. I also have 2 spoons here to put in the bag. Steve would probably prefer a fork, but he's going to get a spoon. I think I'll actually put one of these spoons away, and I will just stick this big spoon in. No need to waste extra dishes that I don't want to wash. And as usual, I already have our big jug of ice water ready to go. I did that before I started recording. We have been mainly drinking water for the last couple months. It's tough because we don't like water, but we've been drinking it and we have been feeling better. Yes, we do still drink. Whoa! You made a mess. It dribbled. It made a little round of chicken juice in my microwave. It was hot. Nope. Shame on them noodles. Guess we'll have to clean that up. I'll just wipe off here at the front right now, and I'll get the rest of it later. Those are not very warm. They're kind of warm, but not really. Get in there. Probably about another 2 minutes. They're not tipped this time, so they shouldn't leak. But anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, we still drink tea and soda, but I mainly drink the tea. I will drink unsweet tea. Occasionally, very rarely occasionally, I will grab a sweet tea. And more so, we like special occasions like date night, and when we've had a really busy day or a really stressful day, we will share a cup of soda. And sometimes, you know, we don't go out to eat very often, usually only when we go out of town. But when you go out to eat, you know, you have the right to drink soda or drink tea. You don't have to drink water. I have done that once in the few times that we've been out, but normally, depending on where you go, whether you get soda or tea. Normally I get tea, and Steve will normally get soda, but sometimes he'll get tea. Does that make sense? That's kind of confusing. So we have quite a bit of, as you can see, we have quite a bit of noodles and mash. So you'll probably see this for lunch several days in a row. I mean, I will make a separate video, but it'll probably be, you know, noodles and mash separate times. Are you guys hot? Oh, they're boiling. Yep, it's steaming. All right, I'm just gonna let this be enough. It should be good. It's not that cold outside. So I'm just gonna take these noodles, pour them over the mashed potatoes like that. Voila, there it is. Stick the lid on that one. Same thing with this. Pour these noodles over the mash. Stick the lid on it. Like I said, I will clean that out later, the chicken juice, when I have a little more time. But here we go. Got my big spoon that I thought I was going to use, a smaller spoon. Grocery bag. Stick those in there. Stick those in the bottom. that up like that. And we are ready to go. I want to thank you guys for joining me and helping me make lunch, and I will see you in my next video.